Now, more of Tracy Smith's conversation with former President Bill Clinton.
So last time we spoke was November, and in December you had a health scare that landed you in the hospital.
Yeah, it turned out to be no big deal, but it was, uh, I basically kind of lost my balance and I knew I was sick and I went to the hospital and checked in. They said I was severely dehydrated and I got great care and I left the next day.
And how's your health now?
As far as I know, it's great. But when you're older, you have to be more careful to stay hydrated.
Speaking of aging, there's this book that came out that talks about Joe Biden and the people around him seeing that he had cognitive and physical decline. Did you ever have a moment with him where you thought maybe he was unfit to run for
No.
president? No.
What's going on, Patriots? Welcome back to the Heritage Hustle, where we stand firm for the Constitution, call out the chaos, and defend the soul of this great nation. If you're sick of the mainstream media sugarcoating the truth, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the Liberty Bell so you never miss a drop of truth. Today, we're reacting to a new interview with former President Bill Clinton. Yeah, that guy, who decided to weigh in on everything from Biden's health to President Trump's power to saving America. And let me tell you folks, this was one of the most gaslighting, out-of-touch interviews I've seen in a long time. Let's break it down point by point. And yes, I've got receipts and I've got opinions.
No.
I thought he was a good president. The only concern I thought he had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86? And we'd had several long talks. I had never seen him and walked away thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his brief.
You never saw any cognitive
No.
decline.
So I didn't know anything about any of this, and I haven't read the book. I saw President Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape. But the book didn't register with me because I never saw him that way.
Why didn't you read the book?
I didn't want to because he's not president anymore, and I think he did a good job, and I think we are facing challenges today without precedent in our history. And some people are trying to use this as a way to blame him for the fact that Trump was reelected.
At this point, do you think there are any limits to President Trump's power?
Oh, yeah.
Who's stopping him?
The courts, including a lot of judges he appointed. And he is looking for ways to basically defy all these court orders. But I think he'll have a hard time doing that. And if he does, I think it will hurt him in America. I mean, look, we've never seen anything like this before in my lifetime. Somebody says, whatever I want should be the law of the land. It's my way or the highway. And most Americans don't agree with that. And I think, it will help if the Democrats win the governorships at stake in this year and can win the House back next year. But I think that he's paid a price for this, name calling and throwing his weight around.
What price?
I think it's made him less popular to the point when, look, only elections are going to change this. But I do think the courts are getting their dander up. I think that him shutting law firms out of representing their clients before federal agencies and in federal buildings because he doesn't agree with their position, that ain't America. We've never done that. The whole purpose of having a legal system is to have both sides be heard.
Do you worry that the only thing that unites the Democratic Party is a hatred of Trump? It's the only thing everybody can agree on.
If I thought that were true, I would, but I don't think it's true. I just think that most people don't have any idea, most people who are criticizing the Democrats right now have no idea how difficult it is to decide the right thing to do. I think it's not as easy as people think. That will come, elections will happen, and we will see. President Trump has a right to do what he thinks is right. He's doing it. The courts are doing their jobs. There will be other elections. But someone needs to stand up and say, damn it, what we have in common matters more. We cannot throw the legacy of this country away. We cannot destroy other people's trust in us. We need to preserve that and find a way to work together and not humiliate other people just so we can win. We got to just calm down and try to pull people together again. That's what I think.
So first, Clinton talks about his little health scare in December, claims he was just dehydrated and that it was no big deal. Okay, fine, hope he's all right. But here's what's interesting, folks. Why is it okay for him to stumble into a hospital and be written off with a pat on the back, but when it comes to Trump, the media runs with every cough or sip of water like it's a medical emergency? Double standards much? Now the meat of the interview. Clinton claims he's never seen any signs of cognitive decline in Joe Biden. Says Biden was always on top of his briefs. Let's be real. Biden can barely finish a sentence without slurring, forgetting where he is, or mixing up countries and names. If Clinton didn't see a problem, then either he's lying or the bar is so low, they're proud Biden managed to stay awake. Americans see the truth every day, on live TV, in press conferences, at rallies. Biden isn't sharp. And it's not ageism to say it, it's patriotism to demand a capable leader. Clinton straight up admits he didn't read the book that exposes Biden's decline. He chose ignorance. Why? Because he's not president anymore. That's rich coming from a man who helped lay the foundation for the globalist policies that got us in this mess. The same elite arrogance that ignores hard truths just to protect the Democrat brand. Then comes the most laughable part. Clinton blames the American people electing Trump on Biden's critics. No, Bill. Trump didn't win because people picked on Biden. Trump won and keeps winning hearts because patriots are sick of weak leadership, open borders, record inflation, and a White House run by teleprompters and puppeteers. Bill Clinton, a guy who's no stranger to bending the law, is now saying the courts are what limit Trump's power. But here's the kicker. Most of those judges were appointed by Trump himself. And that right there, folks, is proof that Trump believes in a constitutional system. He doesn't want unchecked power. He wants law and order. Unlike what the left pushes every election, chaos, fear, and division. Clinton says Trump's style is something we've never seen before. You're darn right it is. We've never seen a president fight for American workers, call out the globalist agenda, dismantle red tape, and not apologize for putting America first. We finally had a leader who didn't bow to the UN, China, or Wall Street. Clinton accuses Trump of shutting out law firms from federal buildings just because of political disagreements. Where's the proof, Bill? The real suppression is from your side. Censorship of conservatives, arrests of parents at school board meetings, labeling Christians and patriots as extremists. That's the real tyranny. Clinton claims it's not true, but come on. You ever hear a Democrat talk about their policies without using the word Trump? No, because without hating Trump, their party has no vision, no energy, and no solutions. Hating Trump is their glue, it's their religion, and that's dangerous. Clinton ends by saying we need to calm down, preserve trust, and pull together. Sure, Bill, but where was this energy when conservatives were being canceled, churches shut down, and Trump voters painted as threats to democracy? Unity isn't real when one side demands obedience and silence. So here's my take, patriots. Bill Clinton represents the past, a past of political games, shady deals, and elite bubble thinking. He's out of touch with what real Americans care about: security, freedom, faith, and our God-given rights. President Trump? He represents the future. A future where we don't apologize for being Americans, where our borders matter, and where the people, not bureaucrats, run this country. If you agree, drop a US in the comments. Share this video so the truth can rise above the noise. And don't forget, this is the Heritage Hustle, where we hustle for truth, fight for tradition, and stand tall for liberty. Until next time, stay bold, stay free, and never stop.